Okay, I'm live. Can you watch and see if I'm there? Hi everyone. We are gonna start in few more minutes. More people come in. Yeah. So 20 already. Hi everyone. Thank you for being very on time. We are gonna start in 1 minute, so you can still chill a little bit. By the way, my name is Veronica. I'm your MCP OGB, and I will be the one that is conducting the whole uh, education about why and also like the big picture of market research. So hi Chiching. Cool. So the thing is that as usual, if you have any process, just ask me or just type here. I can still see it, and then I will just answer to you once I see it. And I think another thing is also that this session itself is gonna be a this session itself is gonna be a more which means that I really need to have a more proactive approach when you are this market research thing, because in this session I'm going to cover something that is more conceptual as well as that is more big picture. So it's very important you are actually taking note, thinking, as well as like answering questions when I'm asking you. Cool. So I welcome to the session. It's about market research, and yeah, today you will learn about the why and the big picture of what is market research, how people and how do we do it in Isaac. Yeah. All right, cool. So why do I put legacy project? I think for OGV peeps, they will actually know, but for other people from other departments, welcome as well. But I think it's still something that is relevant for your product, in which that why I have this legacy project with my OGV people is because I wanted to really emphasize on the importance of working as two teams. I hope there is still some LCVP currents here attending the session as well. So the thing is about how do you still work on this and all these kind of projects that you are still having in a two-term basis, that the VP current can still provide all these kind of supports and things to the VP elects, because you guys are the one who about how marketing has been done in your own product and how has everything been in the past peak. Yeah. So yeah, the thing is that how do we prepare for legacy project to make sure like and currents you can be a happy and proud mama or daddy. Awesome. Cool. So I think first thing first, before we into talking about market research itself, I just want you to take 30 seconds or 15 seconds just to try with what do you do market research and why do we do market research. Yeah. So you can type in the chat box. Anyone can type. So I get a bit of interaction and energy. Yeah. So I'll give you 15 or 30 seconds. You can just tell me roughly what do you think is a market research. All right. Yeah. So yeah, now I'm asking you what market research, and then people that should come in, you can try answering me in the chat box. What exactly is market research? Cool. So Chongyi is about understanding who are potential customer. It could be like finding out who exactly is the potential customer. To understand who are our potential customer, correct as well. All right, nice. So, to know more about customer and their preference. Oh, this is very good. That was my definition. Nice. All right, cool. So to understand what's the demand, need, and how is the supply doing as well. Exactly. Very nice. So I think before we go into talking about what is the definition of market research, I want a live example, right? So let's look at this. Sunsilk. Okay, I think some of you might know, some of you might not know. It's a product of P&G, Procter and Gamble, and I think it's a very well known product that a lot of like households using them, and it's also a product where like every like using it basically every day, whether you are a guy or a girl. So the thing is that a little bit of fun fact is that P&G advertising costs, which spend on all this media and all these things and the whole market research and things, they actually spend 1 billion in 1 year. That's a lot of money. That's even much more higher cost. So a little bit of thing for to share with you here is money is actually spent uh, at times like this to just to have the product reaches out to you. Yeah, it's something that I want you to think about it, because it's a very interesting perspective that I'm gonna unfold to you. So the thing is that market research is exactly as what it who is that KXC, the action or activity of gathering information about our consumers' need and preference. Yeah, so I'm gonna show you as well like how companies like P&G do their and how do we do in ISA and how is exactly the same way of how we have been doing things. So the thing about market research is that first key concept, you don't need to have a mass recruitment. You just need to do the right recruitment. The reason why I'm putting this picture is like it's just like when you're searching for your partner that you don't do mass recruitment, but you target the right person and you do the right thing. So that is how market research help you to narrow down to finding the right customer for your product. Yeah, but I don't have any experience on this. So, market research myth 1.0. Before I even go into telling you about what is the best way to do a market research and things like that, first thing first is that there's never good enough market research. So, it's a bit like for people who have done research before, you are science students or anything. If we knew, like in the process of research, a lot of the time is that uh you are never good enough and there's never like a one way answer to all the things that you need to know about your customer and things like that. So first thing first is to really trust the process and believe that your answers or whatever that you need to know will unfold as along the process of doing market research itself. Yeah. So I have a very, very simple framework that some of you might have seen a lot of time. Go target channel message. So I'm still gonna use P&G as an example. And you remember just now I was talking about Sunsilk, right? So we are still gonna stick back to the same product and looking at the perspective of how a company does market research. So a goal is about what is your goal out of the whole marketing strategy. And I think in Isaac we do this fucking lots of time. Goal setting. One session is now in conference just to talk about goal. Target. Who are the one that you are going to target? Very, very specifically, which I'm going to show you the exact example as well. Channel. What is the channel that you use to reach out to these people? And then message. What is the package or the value proposition of the product that you are doing? And along the way, when you are doing this whole process, is when you will have your whole marketing strategy out and you will be doing research alongside each of these category to know how you should like plan your marketing mix or know how your marketing direction should be. Yeah, so just for your information as well, this whole framework is applicable to every product and also to, I don't know, for me lah, until now, whether it's like inside of outside of Isaac, it still makes a lot of sense and I can still play around with it a lot to, like suit to different products and customer. So let's go back to Sunsilk, the example that we were doing just now, in shampoo. So for example, let's say we wanted to sell 4 shampoos, right? So goal setting from which market pool that you are selling the shampoo and those market pool you are targeting to which product. What is the goal setting for each of your customer flow? Is it the people who have seen the shampoo advertisement to actually purchase the shampoo and things like that? So let's go into the process in details of doing goal setting or you can make it as simple as just 4 shampoos. For example, out of this product that I'm targeting on, I'm gonna target girls with frizzy hair. So when you are doing market, so let's say market segmentation, persona building, understanding your market size. So market segmentations means from which pool your people are coming from. So let's say girls with frizzy hair, you want to target men without hair, or girls without hair, or girls with long hair and things like that. Persona building, for example, purchasing behavior. Are those girls that only buy saloon shampoo? Are they the one that still good? Are they moms who only buy restock package, for example? Market size, how many people are there in terms of like the categories that you're having? So let's say you are only targeting girls who buy extremely expensive shampoo with short hair. maybe around the neighborhood there are girls that are short hair and buy extremely expensive shampoo, for example. Channel, if I were to target all these girls with more like high purchasing power, I'm probably going to sell in hypermarket, but hypermarket that is more hippie. Like let's say this one in Publica, right? So channels, how do you reach out to them? Where do they usually hang out? Booth stores, online or digital platform, retails. And message, this is usually the most important part and also the key defining part of whether your marketing research or your marketing strategies are correct. So what is the package? I'm selling for as my key goal. So my package is about buy two free two package. Key value proposition, straight and silky, is a new product, buy two free two, for example. And value proposition, yeah, is everything about the value proposition itself. So this is in details manner how people are doing market research. So from one of the session that I've attended from P&G before, to go even a little bit more detail, I will just share you how it's done in P&G. So a lot of the time, right, this is a situation when you go to a shopping mall and you see all kinds of shampoos on the shelf. So yeah, normally at a moment like this, a very simple stereotype is that guys will just go for the one they want and grab it, but girls will spend a bit of time, like smelling which shampoo they want, blah blah blah, which one is more attractive, how's the price, and all this kind of thing. But do you know that actually, even on this shelf itself, everything is being designed in terms of the packaging, in terms of the arrangement, in terms of how easy for you to grab that thing, in terms of how many seconds even do you take in front of the shelf to make the decision to purchase that shampoo. They actually do research and they actually do observation to count all these things. It's like your process time, the conversion, and everything that we are doing in Isaac. Yeah. So how do they do it exactly? Market in PNG, they study everything about your age, your gender, your income, your interest, your lifestyle. And if you observe, a lot of brands actually come under P&G itself, but they are all shampoo. So they actually cater all these shampoo flavor, packaging, and everything to the one according to each of the different market that they are targeting. So how is your emotional purchase or how is your emotion when you are purchasing the product? Do you choose like the one that is like more, fancy and fluffy, or do you choose the one that looks practical and feeling that kind? I don't know if I'm using the right English. And then, of course, daily usage, sometimes we will use behavior. Shelving strategy is one key thing that is very popular in all these companies like Unilever or G, where they have key strategy how products are being arranged in the shelf to reach out to the most sales. So channel is like retail, 7-Eleven, Family Mart, shop lots, hypermarkets or stores, for example. So if you observe as well, people usually would not sell like restock shampoo in 7-Eleven, because when you go to 7-Eleven, you only buy one most of the time because of emergency use or things like that. But in hypermarkets, people sell like restock package, all these things you buy in bulk. Yeah. And then the promotion there is mostly buy two free one, that kind of thing. So this is how people are designing strategy based on channeling and then message, right? Kind of options, advertisement, different lines and packaging of the product, for example. So how do they come up with this decision on what channel and what message to use? Is all about data. So exactly the same thing of how this company does as well. They interview customers. They do survey. Some of you have done this kind of job before. Before that, I was being paid to go to survey activity, just to sit down, tell them which one I prefer, go to the shelf, shampoo, all this, and then at the end of the day, you, because you are part of their survey activity, for example. Social experiment or even observation. Like just now I told you, they count how many seconds before you actually pick up the shampoo and purchase it. So secondary data is normally when they purchase data from other company or they have the data themselves. Personal data, your demography, your biography, or the current most popular data, digital marketing metric. Like for example, what is the behavior online? What kind of page do you like? What kind of social circle are you in? What kind of social media do you use? And all these things that they track from your personal data itself. And from this data, they translate it into the strategy that I told you just now in terms of like the customer, the channel, the message, and all these kind of things. Yeah, and that's how people are designing their marketing strategy in the most biggest picture usually. Yeah. So I think so far, I've only shared the general part of how market research is done, let's say in the market or how people are doing. Before I go into Isaac context, I just want to know if any of you have any questions. You can take some time to think or type there as well. It's gonna be a little bit slow when I'm replying because usually the live is a bit delayed. So for me to see your questions and then for me to answer, it will take a while. So yeah, lor, I will give you like 2 minutes. You just type down your questions and then I will answer you. I will speak slower from now because I think some of you mentioned the connection is not that good. Okay, so I have one question. Ethan was asking, can you further explain on persona building? So, in persona building, it depends on the product itself, which is the that we're gonna cover tomorrow, where I'm gonna go in details about how to build persona building. So, what is included in persona building usually is like, let's take say OGV as an example. So let's say I'm targeting Form 6 students, right? So what I will study about Form 6 usually, what is their goal? You always do that kind of empathy map and you interview. So for example, Form 6 students, the key thing that they are looking for is how can they get into university and figure out what do they want in their life, for example. And then what is their pain and their gain of the product. So for example, usually their financial parents permission to like permission to go for exchange and blah blah blah, that kind of thing. And then gain is like when they get new experience, friends, and all this kind of thing. And what is their behavior? So let's say they always go for social media scrolling, but only on specific Facebook pages, for example. They hang out a lot in cafe, or they trust a lot of their their school information and things like that. So you study in details the behavior, the pain and gain, uh, as well as the demographic or of this person itself, and then you build the persona. So when you have the persona itself, when you are designing your marketing channel or strategy, you know that for Form 6 students, I need to make sure my project is safe and make sure I also provide them a parent's letter. I need to make sure it's free accommodation and meal so that it reduce their financial burden. What else? I need to make sure when I'm putting out the flyer, I don't tell them, do you want to go for exchange? But I put like, do you want to figure out what you want to do after Form 6? Do you want to figure out what you want to do before you go university? That's personal building. It's the same for company, which I'm going to explain a bit more later as well. Let's say if you are doing Go Thailand, Go Volunteer, or things like yeah. So I have a question. You as to do market research in uni scale. Yeah, I'm gonna show you later in Isaac Wise how is the concept market. And don't forget to attend the space tomorrow because tomorrow is when you use the entire market research framework to really implement, like what how do you interview people, how you build persona of your own customer, you do you university relation, how do you uh design, how do you do product packaging. It's gonna be super detailed and super real and tangible. So today is a lot more about the big picture and the why. Yeah. So any of you still have any questions, you can still post. But I'm gonna continue first so that yeah, I can tell you in either context how would the whole thing be. All right, cool. So let's say just now we are talking about Sunsilk, right? So in Isaac, our products is simple. We have global volunteer, we have global talent, and global entrepreneur. So I'm just gonna show you examples of how this whole thing is being done in our own context. So let's say in global volunteer, we always have goal setting. So when we set a goal, it's not just about like, hey, I want 100 people to go for exchange, for example. It's really about exactly where your goal is coming from. So for example, I want to do 100 number. I need to know 10 of them come from engineering students, come from environment students, for example. 15 of them come from Form 6 students. Clear cut of where your people are coming from, to which product, which country are they going, which project are they going. As well as then you do backwards planning. How many accept I need then from each market pool, how many apply and all these things. Then the conversion percentage, as well as like how long does it take for them to, from beginning until the end that they actually approve, for example. So your market segmentation. So for example, how many people are coming from this faculty, how many people are coming from this campus, how many people are coming from this pool of market. Let's say you are targeting engineering students, it's 50, and your goal is like 100, you know it's not sufficient for you to cover your goal. So how is the market size? Persona building, like did we call and interview them and understand them as a persona, whether it's for people who have been to exchange or who have never been to exchange. So for OGV, some of you that might know, I already shared the framework before, but I haven't teach you how to use it. It might look a bit complicated. So I'm gonna teach in details tomorrow, and each function specifically is gonna be taught as well, like in your own context. How will the research framework be like when you implement? Then in channel, very simple. Engineering student, do I want to use Booth to reach out to them? Do I use WhatsApp? Do I use Facebook? What is the best way to reach out to them? The message, let's say for faculty of environment student, I'm gonna do Vietnam. Clear cut. Not global volunteer, but very, very specific package just for them. Value proposition, enhance your CV, free accommodation, supported by the dean of faculty, for example. Very uniquely designed just for them. Yeah. So it's about your package, IR partnership, promotions, and your message, for example. So how about global talent, right? Let's say, uh, okay, I hope it's better now. If you cannot hear, just type again. Then I will just talk slower so that you can hear me. Okay, in global talent, so let's say your key target is about which market pool. So for example, the goal setting of how many open that you want, from which company, blah blah blah, what kind of sub products and things. And then for, let's say, people that are coming to your uh forms, like coming to Malaysia itself, from which IR partnership they are coming from. In each customer for conversion and process time as well. So in terms of like market segmentation, it's the same. Like what kind of companies? Is it tech companies? Is it marketing companies? HR companies? What kind of company are you targeting on? Persona building. This is a little bit special in terms of like for global talent. So let's say people that you are actually meeting in a company. So if I'm talking to HR manager, usually in what tone or what kind of behavior, what kind of professionalism do I need to talk to the person? If I'm talking to HR representative, if I'm talking to CEO, if I'm talking to, whoever that's representing the company and things like that. Market size as well. How many companies are there in that market segmentations and all this kind of thing. So channel is I put LinkedIn here as example, but in global talent wise, like events or like career booth and this kind of thing, it also depends on what is the key channel that you are using to reach out to your EPs as well as your companies. So message your value proposition or your product. For example, the products that we are having now, IT for clients, talent from IR and things like that. Value proposition covering HR needs, talent needs from the industry because you for example. Yeah. So that's the example of global talent. But I'm not gonna go into detail in terms of like when you are doing your market segmentation for global talent, how you should do, what kind of question you should ask, how should you type down, record down, what kind of survey and things, because those things are gonna be covered tomorrow. It's the same for GV as well, IGV, OGV, or even for PD. Yeah. So that's like the general concept of how market research is done in the most biggest picture, because I really need you to understand the why and also how things are going before I tell you the whole tools and go details, because or you will be very lost like understanding what's happening. Yeah. So if you have any questions, you can still post it up there and I will just take the time to answer you. So yeah, that's the tangible picture of how market research is done. So I still have a few more tips of sharing about market research based on my own experience. So second market research is always, can I target everyone? I have this question from LC a lot of time. Can I target 5 hour canvas? Can I target 10 kind of companies and all this kind of thing? The thing is that do not go random. Define your objective and your question before you go into market research. So for example, let's take GV as example because I've been doing GV a lot, right? My objective is that to know the behavior of science students who have been to exchange and know how to design a product package for them. Very specific. I know it's from people who have been to exchange, and I want to design a product package from these people so I can have students. So for example, science students, right? Maybe they believe the lecturer made more than Facebook marketing and that kind of thing. Understand how science students hang out, where do they go, what kind of articles they read, media and all this kind of thing. Later on, you want to know what kind of projects to them. Let's say you want to find projects that are science based or you target from channel that are more profitable for them, for example. Yeah. So remember, doing one thorough market research on that tool is already a lot of effort. If you have seen my tool before, it's a lot. So don't kill yourself by trying to target every single person because remember in the beginning, if because remember if you are doing like a mass recruitment, then you are doing market research. Okay, I will speak even slower. I get some feedback that the line is not that stable. I think the line. Okay, cool. So market research myth 3.0 is that I have done my market research and there's no sales and I don't need to bother about market research anymore. So the thing is that learning about your customer is always an infinite game. So you will always want to learn more and be curious. So a lot of time is like when you are having market research and then go into the sales, go into the real thing, you keep refining your market research because along the way you validate a lot more and you know more about all the assumptions that you made when you are so constantly validate your assumptions, listen to your customers, not your teammates. I mean, you can discuss with your teammates, but a lot of the time, if you have any questions that you don't know, ask your customer. So what do I mean by questions? If you want to know which poster is working better, you can just have your friends that is not Isaacers, ask them, hey, how do you think of both posters? Which one do you think works better? Or proposals and all these things like that. Find the real customer in directly to ask them how things are going better or what would they think of the things that you are doing. Yeah, that's example. And then market research me 4.0, for example. How do I measure even along the process if my market research is being done well? So the key thing here is really even as the biggest lesson for myself after being Isaac for so long or in MC level is to really stick to the game. Because once you have chosen your battle, you have to stick it to the end and don't explore new markets every single day. So until, let's say, I've chosen Faculty of Environment, until I finish my term, then I will be able to tell if this market is working or not working and how should I approach the market the best. And then you are building the foundation for that. You don't have to go with every market again. Make sure every step is being measured. So for GV perspective, for example, people that come to your booth, people who sign up, remember the key thing is all about you have to know whether your learnings are being effective and whether all this market that you're targeting can really translate into results. And thirdly, research, but don't do it all the time, obviously along with your strategies. So even though I mentioned there's no time where you will be done with market research, but it also means there's no time that you should wait for your market research to complete. then only you start your sales strategies. So the thing is that you always need to validate your game, which is by doing a research for 3 months and realize you are going the wrong direction is a very bad example. So how I used to do in LC is that I always week in knowing what happened at the booth and things, and then I keep refining my market research and then keep refining the strategy itself. Keep playing and you keep doing it, like simultaneously together, but not wait for your market research to be done, then sales, or wait for sales to be done, then market research and things like that. Know what works when you go to the real market itself, or everything else will just remain theory on paper, which I don't want you to do that because it will just be like you are taking a marketing class for example, but you're not really doing it, Yeah. So I think that's my tips. And yeah, just want to ask if you have any questions, you can still put down as well. I will still spend quite some time here to know what you want to ask, then I can answer. So I'm sorry for the connection. I'm not sure why it's so bad. If you miss out any part and you want me to repeat, I can repeat it here as well, so that I can cover like the part that you want to ask. Yeah, you can just say if you have questions. So for Sagittarius, so the thing that I told you just now, there's never a best way, because the thing is that even if you are doing research, scientific manner and things, there's no best way to do a research. Research is like a knowledge, right? No matter how you are journey of like seeking to know more and more, or you only know what is the best way, or you only know what needs to be done more or known more along the process when you are doing. Of like in either context and things, that what I'm teaching now is that we already have like the basic framework. So basic things is like you at least need to know what is your market segmentation, what is your persona building, what is your IR products, and you meet, and then how do you reach out to the people that you want to target. So it's the exact same thing that I have been mentioning. For example, I want to target science students. So I do all my persona building or understanding what science student like, what do they want, blah, 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 and all this kind of thing. Then I find the projects that are suitable for them. So let's say science students from environment faculty, I find Vietnam projects, blah, blah, blah. All those are part of your market research. Then you set the channel. How do I reach out to science students, for example? So when you have all these things and the message, like telling them that it can enhance your background as a science student or whatever, you have the entire package. Is when your product packaging is done, then you finally push out your products to be out there and see if things are working. So that is the basic framework of how you do a market research. But of course, in details wise, you should check out the market research framework and also the education tomorrow, because that's when I'm gonna go real in details. How do you conduct an interview? How do you and all this kind of thing? Yeah. So that I hope it answers your question. You can let me know like the whole answer is clear for you. So for Poa, will this video be uploaded? This video will stay because it's YouTube live. It's already recorded. Yeah. You just need to come back to this link. It's a video on YouTube already. Then you can always just come back or even deliver to your members and things like that. Yeah. When exploring the GT market, how do you ensure that they are aligned with what you are trying to introduce your position? So the thing is that it's a both ways game, right? So first thing first, when you are doing marketing, to understand what is the problem of the companies, and you're trying to understand what is happening on the company and what are people looking for, what is their problem. So let's say for example, I'm going to this IT company and I'm calling them, I'm asking them what is the problem they are facing in their HR recruitment or all this kind of thing. That's when I'm trying to understand what is the reality of IT talent in Malaysia, for example. And you know that your sub product is IT for IT, and you are definitely only going to find companies who are seeking for IT talent. So yes, there are 5 millions of company out there that might want to take up global talent program and have the potential to take up, but you already make your decision that we are going to target people who need IT talent, for example. So along the way, when you are doing your market research, you only target who are looking for IT talent and who are seeking for this kind of requirement. Yeah. And then automatically they are gonna be the one who is matching with your value proposition. Yeah. So the thing is that um the thing is that a lot of the time in Isaac, we when we are talking with like or doing all this market research and things, people want to do everything because they think every market has the potential. Of course potential, and it's definitely true. But looking at the amounts of exchanges, or like let's say companies that we raise every year, if we don't do market research, we are gonna go everywhere and our strategy is gonna go everywhere. Yeah. So that is the thing. In terms of how do you, it's like you are doing PD sales is the same. Every single person can sponsor Isaac in doing events and things like that, but you only want to find the companies who are suitable to sponsor us. So let's say in GV we are doing global volunteer, right? I won't PNG to sponsor me in global volunteer, for example. I mean, I would not at this moment of time unless there are certain sort of like collaboration I can foresee. But let's say I will go and search out for a company like AirAsia. It's super relevant. The value proposition is like it's like matches with what we are doing directly, because AirAsia want to have more people to travel in this region to develop the regions and the community and things like that, for example. So that's the thing. You do your market research and your market segmentation thoroughly, and then you map the one that is suitable for your product. Or in GV context, you design your product so that you match the market itself. Yeah. For the best pathways, maybe you can explain to me a little bit more in terms of what does it mean by the best pathway, so that I can better understand the questions as well. Yeah, so Ethan, I hope it answers your questions. If you have more questions, you can continue to ask me. Okay. So in our own context, what we have been doing now is that usually when we are building persona, not that there's entire entirely know best way to do it, but I will tell you what we are doing now. And the reason why I'm saying there's no best way is because I just want to bring on the mindset that you shouldn't be a perfectionist when you are doing market research, because there will never be a right answer. But the thing is more like doesn't mean that there's no, like one way or methodology of doing that. So as mentioned, I think it's the best if you can check out the market research framework first in breaking news, like for OGV wise. I don't know if your function has already given you the framework, for example. So let's say for GV, what we do is that we build persona by interviewing. That's one of the way, and we have the interview questions and everything ready, and also the persona framework as well. Then let's say in market segmentation, like the data and the analysis from previous EP that have been to exchange. Yeah. So let's say channel, we already have the few channels that we already time, but it's more like reviewing back and connecting back the data in terms of what is the channel that works best. For example, message is on, product packaging, where when you have done all this kind of research and stuff, then you can whip everything into one product itself and read back to the user. I'm already not speaking, so yeah, I'm just waiting to see if there are any more questions. Come on. Oh, still have. Okay, I have one question from Shani. Is GTCM a way to conduct market research, or is it a tool to convey the right message to the right? Cool. So if you look at GTCM, I wouldn't say it's a tool. I would say it's like a it's not really a concept. I don't know how to say it. It's like method of doing things. So for like a top process, yeah, that's the right word. So for example, you start with goal, right? So if you look at my screen, you start with the activity of doing goal setting. Blah blah blah, which market pool, which product, each customer flow, what exactly is your goal for conversion, blah blah blah, and all this kind of thing. Then go to target. Like you understand who are you targeting, then you do activities, exact activities, which is like market segmentation. How do you build persona building market size? All these points over here are the exact activity that you do to carry out market research. And I just categorize them so that you can see clear picture. And then you, after you know who you want to target, you move on to channel. So in channels, what are the channels you use to reach out to these people that you set in target, like in your market? So for example, do I do booth? Do I do event? Do I use WhatsApp? Do I use Facebook and all this kind of thing? So once you have your channel set, your goal set, and your target set, look at this whole thing, you are able to design a message now. So for example, I use to WhatsApp to reach out to them in their WhatsApp group. Activity of your message is like I put everything in a poster in WhatsApp, and then I put down my key points, which is the value proposition, your CV, your free accommodation, blah, 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 and all this kind of thing. Yeah, you promote in the end. Then you have your marketing strategy. So because in terms of message, the activity that you do is product packaging, designing your poster, designing your packaging, the flight ticket price, budgeting, all this kind of thing. That are the exact tangible activities. So this whole thing is like a guidance for you on the top process, how you should design your marketing strategy, for example, and also how you do your market research along the way. Yeah. If I were to take example, it's like okay, let's say lah, for personality test, right? We have something like MBTI, like you are an ENFP, INFP, all this kind of thing. It's not really a tool. It's just something like a concept or learning for you that guide you. Yeah. So this is how, if you don't know how to begin with anything in market research, you should follow this path and follow this top process. And then underneath, there are gonna be a lot of activities. So you do the activities according to this top process. Is there anyone asking more questions? Because I just afraid my mic is a bit slow. So I think that's all. More questions, feel free to ask in Telegram or any of the MCVP, because I'm pretty sure they know how to do it for your own product as well. For OGVPs or IGVPs even, feel free to text me or ask in the group so that we can talk together. I think so far for now, that's all for the session itself. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm sorry if in the middle there's like some misunderstandings. So, yep, next sessions, I hope you can give feedback or, provide this whole market research strategy the people that need in your LC. And I hope it finally really provides you a very clear picture in terms of like how marketing works as well as how market research works. And remember, it's something that is super essential and super important for every LC. And please really attend the session that is going to happen tomorrow for each function, because that is when you put everything into real actions and you really understand how to do that like in tangible manner. Yeah. So I hope this session is able to clarify to you why market research is important, and in big picture wise, how does market research look like. Yeah. And tomorrow we are going to go into super detail, so you get your timeline, you get to know how you work on everything in details and how should you do it. All right, that's all. Thank you so much, and I wish you have a good night.